Welcome to the Video Professor series of computer learning tapes, the nation's #1 computer trainer. We'll take you step by step through learning to use your computer software. On the screen now are some other tapes available in our series. When using these tapes, we suggest you watch them in their entirety, then go back with your computer and practice each step. In keeping with the Video Professor's dedication to giving you the best lesson possible, we have packed these tapes with information and sometimes move at a pace that is faster than you will be able to follow along with as you are working with your computer. Remember, you can always pause or rewind the tape to learn each part. Now let's get started. And welcome to my lesson on learning advanced internet skills. In this lesson, you will learn more about advanced features of the information superhighway. Topics will include customizing your online service with flash sessions and system preferences, using parental controls to lock out internet connections, building your own homepage on the World Wide Web using the Web Page Toolkit, acquiring advanced web browsers to get the most out of your online service, finding shareware programs, and downloading files on the net, virus protection programs, and finally shopping and credit card protection on the net. We'll use America Online for our internet connection. Its built-in features provide just about everything needed to navigate and master the internet. So to follow the instructions in this lesson, you'll need America Online loaded on your system. Viewers, if you do not have AOL, or if you're already connected to another service such as Prodigy or CompuServe, don't worry. You should still be able to follow along with this lesson, since many of the features covered are common to other internet services. Although some of the menus and features will have different names and locations on the screen, the functions they perform are generally the same. Also, the AOL and internet are changing daily. Some screens, menus, or graphic buttons you'll see in this lesson can be changed by next week. If this happens and you can't find a topic we are discussing, try typing that topic name into the keyword menu. For this lesson, I will assume that you've seen my Learn How to Use the Internet and Mastering the Internet lessons, or already have some experience on the net. If not, you may want to review these tapes before continuing with this lesson. America Online and other software we'll be using for this lesson work within the Windows environment, so it is important that you understand how Windows works. If you need to brush up on any of your Windows skills, I suggest you see my tapes Learning Windows and Windows 95 before beginning this lesson. Now, before we start this lesson, I'd like to introduce my student assistant, Suzanne. Just follow along with her, and you'll be mastering the net in no time at all. I'll assume you've already turned on your computer and Windows is running. Go ahead and start the AOL program, Suzanne, but don't sign on and connect to the service just yet. It is important to understand that America Online is really two programs, not just one. Let me explain. AOL is just like any other program on your computer with one major difference. The biggest part of the AOL program is not installed on your computer. Rather, it's installed out there on the internet, and you must connect to the service before these two programs are able to work together as one. But there are some important exceptions to this, and that's what we're going to cover first, because we can save a lot of time and online connection charges by setting up and using the features that are available to us offline before connecting to the service. Then we can sign on and make far better use of any time that we do spend online. So click on Members in the top menu, Suzanne, then click Edit Stored Passwords. Instead of entering your password every time you sign on to America Online, just type your password here next to your screen name, and you won't have to enter it manually again. Asterisk will appear in place of your password, so be sure to type this in carefully. Once done, click OK. Viewers, you may want to skip this step if others have access to your computer, since someone could log on to AOL using your screen name without your permission. Also skip this step if you plan on using parental controls to limit internet access to your kids. Now let's look at a real time saver that you can use for your email, and this will save on your online charges too. Click Mail, then click Flash Sessions. Flash Sessions lets AOL send and retrieve all of your email automatically so you can read it later offline. Suzanne, click on the Walk Me Through icon. Viewers, this screen may already be what came up when you selected Flash Sessions. A good description of what Flash Sessions does is displayed here, so go ahead and read this and click Continue. As you move through each of the following screens, an explanation of what each function does is displayed, so take the time to read them and click Yes to activate each option. Click Yes to select Retrieve Unread Mail, Download Attached Files, Send Outgoing Mail, Retrieve Files in your Download Manager, Receive Newsgroup Messages, and Send Newsgroup Messages. After this, in the Screen Names box, be sure your own screen name is checked and that your password is properly entered in the field next to it. You can include any additional screen names that appear in this dialog box, but note that a separate password is needed for each screen name you select. Email Enthusiast will create an alternate screen name and use it for joining different news groups and for signing up with different email lists. Since many of these lists can produce tons of junk mail, it's a good idea to have a different name so you can keep it separate from your personal mail and just delete it if you don't have time to read it. Click Continue, Suzanne. Read the information about scheduling Flash Sessions, then click Yes. It looks like every day of the week is already scheduled. Viewers, your defaults may be different if you've used this feature before, and you can set this any way you'd like to suit your own schedule. Uncheck Saturday and Sunday, Suzanne, since we don't want to check for mail on the weekends. Click Continue. Here you can have AOL schedule a Flash session from once each day up to every half hour, but once a day should do it. Viewers, you can set this to activate Flash Sessions as often as you like. Click Continue. The default start time looks good, Suzanne, and remember, you can set this to any time you'd like. Click Continue once again. Congratulations! We now get the message that Flash Sessions have been set up. Note here that your AOL program must be running in order for Flash Sessions to automatically log on, retrieve your mail, and log off. Click OK. Suzanne, select Mail and Flash Sessions again. Now we get a different box that we can make changes to our Flash Sessions in. We don't want news groups in our Flash Sessions, so uncheck the last two items about news groups. And note that we get confirmation that Flash Sessions are scheduled. And as I mentioned before, using this feature wisely will allow you to perform all of your email tasks offline so you can save on connection charges. Close this menu and click Members, then Set Preferences. This dialog box gives us several ways to customize our program. Click on Graphics. As we saw in our first lesson, we can really speed things up by deselecting this Display Images checkbox, since pages will load a lot quicker without graphics. But we want to see graphics, so leave it selected. And leave JPEG compression at its maximum setting of 100. Now click on Set Color Mode. AOL's program will try to determine the best setting for your computer, but I suggest that you select the Use at least 256 colors option. Otherwise, graphics could look choppy and unnatural.
Professor, if I choose 16 colors, would that make my graphic pages load faster?
No, Suzanne, going for less colors won't speed up loading graphics. In fact, setting your system to use only 16 colors can actually slow your system down. Choose the more than 256 colors only if your computer has high color capability. Some graphics like JPEG or TIFF files consist of millions of colors. So you should check your computer's documentation and be sure Windows is set to use the maximum number of colors your computer can display. Click OK to save any changes you made. Viewers, you will need to restart your computer if you've changed your color settings in order for your changes to take effect. Suzanne, just click OK and let's proceed. Next, click the World Wide Web icon and let's look at some options that affect how we can browse the web.
Professor, isn't this window the same one that we opened from the web browser menu back in the first lesson?
That's right, Suzanne. The Preferences option is just another way to get to the same menu. The difference is that you don't need to be connected to the service to get to this menu. Now that we've got it open, let's take a closer look at it. Here you can choose to have graphics displayed or not. Remember, you can toggle this on or off anytime while using the web browser. Virtually all web graphics are compressed, so leave this setting alone. And leave the rest of these options checked except for the last one, since using a gray background in web pages can make some graphics reveal a false background and can cause some images with gray colors in them to lose their contrast. Viewers note Suzanne's home page is set to AOL's home page. And as I showed you in my first lesson, you can change this URL to any page you like. Now click the Advanced button. When you connect to the World Wide Web, this setting controls how much your computer stores or caches web pages and graphics on your hard drive. This means you can connect to the web and call up one web page, call up another one, then go back to the first one without having to reload it all over again. This can be a real time saver, and the higher the cache setting, the more web pages you can load before losing the oldest one. Suzanne, click the little up arrow and boost your cache up to 4 megabytes. Viewers, be sure there's enough disk space available on your computer before increasing this setting. Once done, click OK. Before we close this window, click on Helper Applications. This list tells your AOL program what to do with the different parts or elements of each web page, such as how to display text and graphics, and how to process downloaded files. Here's a good example. Double-click on GIF image files to open the Modify dialog box. GIFs, or graphic image format files, are common elements in web pages, and our default setting tells us AOL should present it or display these images normally. Advanced users can use these dialog boxes to divert selected files into separate applications. For example, check the Use a Separate Application button. If you want to display GIF files in a word processor, like Microsoft Word for example, all you need to do is type in the full path to the program in the application name field, like /MS Office /WinWord /WinWord.exe, or whatever program you prefer to use. If you do this, whenever AOL sees files with this extension, they would open up automatically in the Word program or whatever program you might type in this field, as long as that program is capable of reading GIF files. We don't need to change any of this, Suzanne, so cancel this dialog box and click on Close in the next box to exit. Everything else looks good, so click OK to save any changes you've made to your preferences. Now click the Mail icon, Suzanne. It's a good idea to get confirmation once mail's been sent and to close the mail window when you're done using it. So make sure those items are both checked. Also, be certain to check the next two items. These tell AOL to automatically maintain a complete and up-to-date record of all incoming and outgoing mail. We'll leave the last item unchecked, so click OK, then close the Preferences menu. Let's move on. Electronic mail can use up a lot of disk space on your computer. America Online provides a very useful tool called Personal Filing Cabinet that works a lot like Windows File Manager, so you can keep track of all your email files and other related items. Click Mail. Now click Personal Filing Cabinet to open it. Viewers, your filing cabinet is apt to look a lot different than Suzanne's, since this is a file tree of all of your file downloads, favorite places, email, and newsgroup records. Since we've instructed AOL to save all incoming and outgoing mail, the Mail Archives portion of this file cabinet is likely to fill up fast, especially if you get a lot of email. There's really no limit to how many files your file cabinet can store. It just depends on how much room you have left on your hard drive. So it's a good idea to do a spring cleaning on your file cabinet once in a while and delete old messages and files that you don't need anymore. Your personal filing cabinet provides a great way to get organized. The buttons along the bottom of this window can be used to open, delete, or rename files and file folders, or rename and delete entries about your favorite places on the net. which is another area that can become cluttered up in a hurry, especially if you do much net surfing. Let's create a new folder for our very favorite places, Suzanne. Click once on Favorite Places, then click on the Add Folder button at the bottom of the window. Type Top 10 and click OK. Now double-click on the Favorite Places folder to open it. Then click and hold the left mouse button on the Top 10 folder you just created and move it up, right over the top of the first item in your Favorite Places directory. Then release the mouse button. There, now your Top 10 directory will appear at the top of your Favorite Places list, and you can move your very favorite places into this folder for easy access. And here's another handy feature that we can use offline. Click the Search button at the bottom of the window. The search tool makes it easy to locate files in your filing cabinet, and you control the scope of the search, either all folders or just open folders, and the type of search, whether to search for a file name or the file's contents. Viewers, you can come back and experiment with the search tool, so click Cancel and close the personal filing cabinet. Viewers, look at your Setup and Sign On screen. If you have stored your personal password the way Suzanne did earlier, the password prompt will no longer appear in the Setup and Sign On window. But if you find that you're no longer able to sign on after doing this, go back to the Edit Stored Passwords dialog box we used earlier. Delete all the asterisks next to your screen name. Then re-enter your password again, this time being absolutely certain to type it in correctly, then try again. Now we're ready to go net surfing, Suzanne. Click the Sign On button to connect to America Online.
Look, Professor, I've got mail.
That's right, Suzanne, but before you click this to read through your mail right now, just click Mail up in the top menu and click on Activate Flash Session Now. We would like to stay connected for this session, so just click Begin to activate your email flash session. Though we've already scheduled a flash session to take place automatically each morning by using the Activate Flash Sessions Now feature, you can check for mail anytime you want and read it later at your own leisure. As I said before, this can save you a bundle on your online connection charges. Go ahead and close this window, Suzanne, so we can move on to our next subject, parental control. Viewers, if you have kids at home, here's a great way to block out internet links that could be unsuitable for your children. Click Members. Then click Parental Control. Click Block All but Kids Only. From this dialog box, you can set the options that your children are allowed to access on the internet and block out everything else at the click of a button. Click the Go to Kids Only icon. This is what your kids will see when they log on to AOL. You can explore the Kids Only department and decide if this material is right for your kid. Go ahead and close this window, Suzanne. Click Ask AOL. Parents with special concerns can email questions to AOL using this feature. Click Cancel. Then click Create Screen Name. Then double-click on Create a Screen Name. Viewers, this is where you create additional screen names for your children. For all your kids ages 12 and under, just one screen name should do fine. So parents, if you do click the Create a Screen Name button and create a new name for your children, you'll be asked to create a new password for them, which you can go back and add to the Edit Stored Passwords menu just like we did in the beginning of this tape. But while you're there, you should remove your own password so that your kids can't log on using your screen name, giving them unrestricted adult access to the internet. Click Cancel, Suzanne, then click Close, and let's move on. Click the Block All but Kids Only button once again. Now you're shown a list of each screen name you've created on AOL. Parents, if you added any screen names, simply check the box next to each of your kids' screen names and click OK. If you do this, you'll get the message that communication control changes have been saved. Then click OK, and AOL will automatically sign off at this point, so your new choices can take effect. You can sign back on using your child's screen name to be sure everything is working properly. Then you'll know that your kids can sign on anytime and enjoy the Kids channel on the internet, and you won't have to worry about them getting into trouble in cyberspace. One more thing before we move on. Be sure to show your kids how to sign off as soon as they're done surfing the net to help save on your monthly billing. Click Cancel, Suzanne, and close this window since we didn't make any changes to our screen names. Parents can also prevent their preteen or adolescent children access to certain parts of the internet without blocking out everything. Let's see how this works. Click Chat Controls, then click it again from this menu to open the control panel. You can use this to block instant messages, which are live, private conversations between only two parties, and to block all rooms, which will totally block out AOL's People connection. Block Member Rooms, which lets you block only selected rooms in the People connection area, and also block Conference Rooms to prevent access to the larger chat rooms throughout America Online. Suzanne, click Cancel, then click to close the Chat Controls menu. Next, click the Newsgroups button. Then click the Newsgroups Controls button from this menu. The purpose of these controls is to let you block access to any messaging areas over the entire internet, including those areas which are outside of and apart from America Online's exclusive network. While most newsgroups provide valuable resources, some discussions in these areas are not moderated and may contain unsuitable material. Now click Parental Controls and select the screen name you want to edit these controls for, and click on the Edit button to open the Newsgroup Controls dialog box. Block Expert Add prevents your child from adding newsgroups manually. The Block All option blocks access to all newsgroups on the internet. The Block Binary Downloads option lets you prevent your child from downloading text files, graphics, photos, sounds, or animation files from newsgroups which may contain inappropriate material. Finally, the Use Full Newsgroups list lets you access a much larger database of newsgroups, beyond AOL's regular newsgroups list. Parents may want to search through and review AOL's list before allowing their children access to them. Block newsgroups containing these words lets you restrict access to newsgroups that contain certain buzzwords. For example, if you don't want your child to access any newsgroup containing words like sex or guns, you can type these and any other suspect buzzwords into this text box. Then any newsgroups that contain these words will be blocked. Next, Block the Following Newsgroups lets you block out selected newsgroups by simply typing in the Usenet name of each into the text area. Suzanne, go ahead and close out all open dialog boxes all the way down to the main menu so we can move on to building your own web page. Parents, I'm sure you'll want to come back and spend more time working with these controls. Viewers, you've probably noticed website addresses or URLs appearing practically everywhere you look, on TV, magazines, newspapers, flyers, you name it. Suzanne, let's build a web page so you too can include your web address in all your email and regular mail. And you can tell all your friends how to find your page on the web. So let's go do it. Click on Internet Connection. Now click the World Wide Web folder. Then click the Web Page Toolkit. The Web Page Toolkit provides some helpful tools for using the hypertext markup language, also known as HTMLs. Click on Go to Personal Publisher. This menu provides an incredibly fast and easy way to get your own homepage up on the web. And once you've got a page on the web, anyone can find it on the internet simply by typing in your web address. Let's try it. Suzanne, click on Create Edit My Home Page.
Professor, why would I want to build a homepage on the web?
That's a good question, Suzanne. Think about this for a moment. Having your own web page is really like having your own bulletin board where you can tack up notices for club news or church functions, have your own classified ads, include your resume, promote special talents you have like photographing weddings, express interest in collectible items. There are lots of things to try. With that said, scroll down the page, and other than your screen name, practically all the other information fields are empty. But you can't really edit your page until you create it first. So scroll down and click the Create button. And once the page loads, you are presented with some helpful information at the top of the screen. So scroll down the page and you'll see some different fields where you can enter information about yourself to be displayed on your web page. Every field is optional, so you can key in any information you want to and skip the parts you'd rather keep to yourself. Suzanne, your screen name is already selected for you, so just type your name in the first field and press the Tab key or click in each field box to enter the appropriate information. Scroll down to see more fields as needed. Viewers, remember this is your page and it's totally up to you what information you want to enter. Once you've completed these selections, scroll down as needed and click AOL and Internet so everyone on the net can find your home page. Click the See My Changes button so you can review your page before saving it to the World Wide Web where everyone in the world can see it. Well, everything looks good. We can always come back later and edit your page anytime you'd like to add more text, add links to other websites, add graphic images or other multimedia files like sound bites and video clips. We don't have time to show you how to do all this, but if you click the Add button at the bottom of this window, you can follow the instructions that will appear on each screen to add items to your home page. But let's skip this for now and click the Save Changes button, Suzanne, and you get the message that your home page has been saved. Click your home page URL. And there it is. Nice work, Suzanne.
Professor, there's a lot of numbers after my address. Do I have to type all these in to pull up my web page?
Good question, Suzanne. The best way to make sure is just to reload your page without using all those extra numbers. It should work fine. Click the mouse to highlight everything after your screen name, then press your Delete key. Now press your Enter key to reload your page. And there it is again, Suzanne. Now you can tell all your friends that you've got your very own homepage on the World Wide Web. Go ahead and close all open windows down to the main menu, and remember, viewers, you can come back to edit and update this page anytime you'd like. Suzanne, now that I've shown you how to get your own web page on the internet, I think this would be a good time to download a new high-tech web browser so we can get a better look at some of the latest things on the World Wide Web. Viewers, there's a good selection of web browsers out there to choose from, and if you have enough disk space available, you may want to download several of these and try them out to see which of these works best for you. Many of these programs are using the latest technologies, like HTML 3.0 frames and tables, Java applets, VRML 3D graphics, and ActiveX program interfaces. Some browsers like Netscape and NavaPress can even be used to design and publish full-fledged websites. This technology is evolving rapidly, so don't be surprised if you find new and more powerful features being included with any of these programs. But our focus here is to download a popular browser that's easy to use and is capable of displaying more high-tech web pages that older browsers just aren't designed to do. Also, for the rest of this lesson, we will be looking at and downloading programs that you may or may not want on your system. I suggest you just watch the lesson for now. If you decide you want these or other programs, you can come back and follow along with us. Also remember, you are paying online charges as these programs are downloading, and they will take up hard disk space. Click Go To in the main menu, then click Search Software Libraries. From this menu, you can quickly locate just about every kind of software program imaginable. And you can narrow down the search by clicking next to the kind of software you're looking for and how recent it was uploaded. And you can also choose to search more than one category at a time or all categories at once. The software we're looking for is called NavaPress, so it should be easy to find. Just type in the word NavaPress, then click List Matching Files or press the Enter key. From the list that appears, click once to highlight NavaPress for Windows. We could download this file now by clicking the Download Now button, but click Download Later, and you get the message that the file has been added to your download list. Click OK and close this window so we can locate a couple more files we need and mark them for downloading too. Once we've marked any files we need, we can then download them all together instead of just one at a time. This makes it a lot easier. Type WinZip, then click List Matching Files again. From the list, choose WinZip 95 if you're using Windows 95, or just WinZip if you're using an older version of Windows, and click to Download Later and click OK. WinZip is a handy program for manually unzipping files you download and for zipping up files you want to send email. We'll touch on this later. Close the software search menus. Now click Go To, then click Keyword. You can use this shortcut method to jump around quickly on your internet service, and this is a good way to find certain software links that may not appear using the software search tool. The file we need is a special utility called WinSock, so type that in exactly as you see here and click the Go button. Now click the button that says click here to automatically download WinSock. Then click Download Later, just like we did before with the NavaPress file. This would be a good time to log off AOL since we've already marked the files we want to download, and we can complete the next few steps without being connected to the internet. It's best to download larger files or more popular programs like these during off-peak hours to avoid internet traffic jams, which can slow your download time considerably. So click Go To and sign off. And if you're prompted to download files from your pending queue, click No. We'll come back and get these files in just a moment. After you've disconnected from the service, click File in the main menu, then click Download Manager. This window shows you a detailed list of each file selected for download, including the file source, description, file size, and projected time for downloading over your modem during off-peak hours. And right above this, the default download directory is displayed, where these files will be downloaded to. Viewers, as I said earlier, it is important that you have enough disk space available to accommodate the files we're about to download. Although these files are compressed, NavaPress, for example, is over 2 megabytes in size, and you'll need to allow several more megabytes to install it onto your system. From the row of buttons below, click Select Destination. By default, files are downloaded into AOL's Download File folder, but we can use this feature to redirect downloaded files to another location of our choosing. But we don't need to change this, Suzanne, so click Cancel, then click Download Preferences. Many of the files that can be downloaded over the net are in the zip format, which means they contain larger groups of files which have been condensed or compressed into one single file for convenience and more efficient storage. Once downloaded, each zip file can then be restored to its original condition and folder location by unzipping the file onto your hard disk or onto floppy disks if you choose. These files typically have the 3-letter ZIP file extension. Go ahead and check the boxes next to automatically decompress files at sign-off and delete zip and ARC files after decompression. This will make it much easier to download and install these files without cluttering up your hard disk. Click OK to save these changes, then click to close the Download Manager. Let's go get our file, Suzanne. Click on Mail, then click Activate Flash Session Now. We don't want to stay online when we're finished, so just click on Begin to activate this session. Viewers, this download session should take about a half an hour depending on your modem and network traffic. So stop the tape And when you've finished downloading and are signed off from the service, exit the America Online program and start the tape again. Okay, these 3 new files should now appear in your download folder. One named navapress.exe, one named winzip95.exe, or wz60wn16.exe if you chose the older version, and the other file named winsock.dll. Let's verify this. Open your Windows Explorer or File Manager and look in your America Online download file folder. And there they are. Viewers, if your download destination is set to a different file folder, you should look for these files in that folder instead. Select the winsock.dll file and copy it to your Windows file folder. Viewers, this Windows Network socket file, called WinSock for short, allows NavaPress to communicate with AOL's internet connection. And if you discover that a file by this same name already exists in your Windows folder, this means that you have 2 different versions of this file on your computer, and then another program might depend on your existing version in order to work properly, and probably won't work with the one we just downloaded. There's an easy fix for this. Simply rename the existing winsock.dll file in your Windows folder to winsock.old before replacing it with the new one. You can reverse this operation as needed to keep other programs running normally. Advanced users may want to create batch files to perform this file operation automatically when starting AOL. With that said, go back to your download folder and double-click on the navapress.exe file. This will activate the WinZip self-extractor. Viewers, this runtime WinZip routine is part of the NavaPress setup program and is not using the standalone WinZip program we just downloaded. So type in the drive letter where you have the most available disk space, followed by a colon and a backslash, then type a temporary directory name like NP. Then click the Unzip button. This will extract the file contents to this directory. Click OK when you get the message that we have 6 files successfully unzipped, at which point the NavaPress setup program will automatically start. Viewers, before installing any new software program, you should read its licensing agreement before proceeding. Basically, agreements like these say they don't want you copying and distributing this software without permission, that you're entitled to upgrades and technical support by registering, and may include other provisions that vary with each software program. Click I accept and click OK to proceed with the setup process. Just go with the default settings, and once the setup process is complete, restart Windows so that any changes made to your system will be activated. Viewers, go ahead and stop the lesson so you can finish these tasks and join us after signing on again. With NavaPress installed and after Windows restarts, sign on and connect to AOL and rejoin us. Now, go to the NavaPress program folder you just created and activate the NavaPress program. Once in NavaPress, double-click the mouse to highlight the location field and type http://www.aol.com and press Enter. You should see a message at the bottom of your NavaPress window indicating that you're connected, and the page should load normally within a couple of minutes. Viewers, if you get a message that says "Couldn't contact server" in the NavaPress window, this usually indicates that you have the wrong WinSock DLL file in your Windows folder. Don't be surprised if this happens to you. Windows 95 programs such as Microsoft Exchange and Internet Explorer can automatically overwrite this file without warning. So be certain to double check that this file matches the one in your download folder before starting any programs. This should correct any problems you may be experiencing. Okay, Suzanne, now that we've got a high-tech web browser coupled to AOL, let's put it to the test to make sure it's working the way it should. Click and drag the mouse to highlight everything in the location window after www. And type 4cdr.com/ftp/default.htm, just like you see here, and press enter. This will open the CD Archive website. This is a great place to find computer games and other shareware programs. Once the page is loaded, click Browse and click Add to Hot List so you can come back to this website anytime you want. Scroll down the page and notice all the programs available.
Professor, are all these programs available at no cost?
That's right, Suzanne. Technically speaking, they are available at no charge, which is why they're referred to as shareware programs. But you'll find that many of these ask for donations or small registration fees if you like the program and continue to use it. Click Games in the menu and wait for that page to download. This will probably take several minutes since this is a long list. We'll jump ahead. Scroll down as needed to find Missile Command Clone and click on it. And the Missile Command file name abmcmd.zip should download right to your computer. Viewers, like all websites, these pages are updated frequently. And remember, you can choose any file you want from the list. Once the file downloads, NaviPress will give you the message that it doesn't know how to display or process zip files, and it will ask you if you want to save this file locally. Just click Yes and choose the folder where you'd like to store this new file. Let's put it in your My Stuff folder, Suzanne. Viewers, you'll need to install that WinZip program we downloaded earlier in order to unzip this file and play this game. There are a lot of great files we can download over the internet, as you can see, but sooner or later, we could run into a file that has a computer virus. There are literally tens of thousands of computer viruses out there that can damage or even completely destroy all the files on your hard disk. And we sure don't want that to happen, Suzanne. Let's download a new virus protection program right now and install it, so you won't have to worry about your computer catching a cold. We could search the web for virus protection software from here, but America Online has a special section just for virus protection. So press the Alt and Tab keys together to switch back to the AOL window. And click Go To, then click Keyword, and type in virus, and click the Go button. From this menu, click on the Software Library button, then double-click Antivirus Utilities. Locate Thunderbite for your version of Windows and click it once to highlight it. Then, click Download Now. Again, AOL defaults to its download directory, which is fine for us, so click OK. This will take a while to download, so we'll skip to the end. After this program is finished downloading, you'll get the message it has been transferred, so click OK, then sign off from AOL. Now AOL will automatically unzip this file into a separate folder created in the AOL Download subdirectory. Then after this, it will come back and delete this zip file once the process is completed. Isn't that easy?
Professor, how is this file unzipping itself when I haven't installed that WinZip file we downloaded earlier?
Suzanne, AOL has its own unzipping program that we activated in AOL's preference settings in the beginning of this lesson. Unfortunately, it will only work on unzipping programs contained within the AOL environment. Zipped files from other sources, like our game program, need a program like WinZip to unzip or extract the file's contents from them so you can use them. All that's left to do to get this virus program working is to run the setup program. From your Explorer menu, highlight TBW95700 and double-click Setup.exe. Now go with the default settings. Again, viewers, if you are following along, stop the tape here while you finished installing the virus protection program. When you are done, you'll need to shut down your computer and restart it for the program to take effect. You may want to read the documentation files that come with these programs to get a better understanding of computer viruses and how programs such as this can help to protect you from them. After you've finished installing this software and after your computer restarts, you should be able to see this new virus protection program running in the background. Viewers, if you don't see this, go back and install this program again and be sure to accept all the default settings, then try again. I'd highly recommend that you leave this or some similar virus protection program running on your computer at all times, especially if you're going to be surfing the net. And since several new or unknown stealth viruses are being discovered every day, it's a good idea to update your virus software on a regular basis. At least once every 6 months. You can do this simply by going back to the same place we just got this software and looking for the latest versions and new releases. Okay, for the next part of our lesson, you'll need to be signed on to AOL and have our NavaPress program up and running. Suzanne, now that we've seen how to locate and download some useful files off the internet, I'd like to show you what a cyberspace shopping mall looks like. There are countless stores and shops, vendors, even large shopping malls that are now doing business on the web. And this number is growing faster than anyone can keep up with. This means you could go shopping for fashions in Paris, computer services in the Silicon Valley, or buy just about anything anywhere in the entire world just by pressing a few keys. Okay, with NavaPress running, let's find a store. Click the mouse in the location field and type http://awa.com/Fifth Avenue, exactly as it is typed here, with the uppercase A, and press enter. And here we are on Fifth Avenue. Viewers, as you can see, major credit cards are welcome here. That's nice, but before we pull out your credit card and go shopping on the World Wide Web, let's see how they handle our credit card. First, we need to select a product, so scroll down the page and click on Pet Supplies Online. Now, scroll down the page till you find the message that this form supports security auto detection for Netscape. Your order will be encrypted. This means that this website is using one of the many new technologies being developed around the world to help protect customers from having their credit card numbers stolen or other personal information from being intercepted over the internet by some cyber crook. If you're going to give your credit card number out over the web, be sure to look for buzzwords like secure transmissions or data encrypted. These terms indicate that a website is using a program called a Secure Sockets Layer or SSL program. These programs allow users to automatically authenticate and encrypt communications sent across the internet between SSL-compatible browsers like Netscape and the website that you're visiting. This SSL technology also provides authentication that you are communicating with the correct server, which additionally prevents you from sending information out over an unsecure server, which may be connected somewhere in the background without your knowing about it. It also encrypts or scrambles any transferred data and verifies that it was not altered during the transfer. Simply put, look for these programs so your credit card number won't get into the wrong hands. Well, Suzanne, we've come to the end of our lesson. I'll leave you here to look around Fifth Avenue. Everyone enjoy the internet, and remember, there is always more you can learn from me, the Video Professor.